We're Grayson and Ashley. We've been living on the road for nearly 5 years. We've been to 49 of 50 states, traveled throughout Canada, Baja, Mexico, and have even driven to the Arctic Ocean. Right now, we're on one of our biggest adventures yet, a road trip to the northeasternmost point in North America. We're documenting our life on the road, places we visit, and everything in between. Come along for our full-time adventure.
Oh, it's a little muddy out there.
Oh, we're sliding.
I know.
As we make our way across the country, we have 3 days in South Dakota. We've been here before, but the last time we were here was back in 2021. So we're excited to be back here and explore some new places and visit some of our favorite places.
The first place we're going to be visiting over the next day or so is Custer State Park. It's been pretty high on our list for a pretty long time now due to its unique landscape, and we're starting off our time here at Sylvan Lake.
Perched high in Custer State Park is Sullivan Lake, a man-made lake framed by towering rock formations. It's not just a beautiful stop, it's also the trailhead for Black Elk Peak, the highest summit east of the Rockies. We won't be hiking that today, but we will be exploring some other awesome trails in the park. What's really nice is right next to the lake there are multiple trails that you can do, and so we've chosen to do a few of those. The first one that we're starting with is the Sunday Gulch Trail. This trail is just under 4 miles and is rated as a moderate. We've already been on it for, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes, and so far the views have been amazing.
Finishing the loop, this trail throws one last surprise: metal handrails bolted right into the granite. This helps guide you over slick rock slabs and stream crossings. It feels more like scrambling through a canyon than hiking a trail, and it's easily the most fun part of the entire hike.
It just keeps going. We made it back to the camper. That trail was so fun and unique. I loved all the places where there was the hand railing going over the rocks, and it was cool too because there were certain areas that were really treed, so lots of shade, which was really nice. But it is getting a little bit hot, and these two, as you can tell, are a little bit tired and a little bit hot, so we've decided to bring them back to the camper, turn the AC on before we head to the next trail.
We are so happy we got here when we did because the park is absolutely so busy now. People can't even find parking, and thankfully we still have our spot that we got earlier because the trail we're doing now starts in that same area. This trail is called the Little Devil's Tower Spur Trail. It's around 3.8 miles with about 800 feet of elevation, and it should have a decent amount of that rock climbing stuff that we were doing on the last trail. So we're interested to see how difficult it actually is.
The trail up here was so much fun. It was just a path at the beginning, but a beautiful path. And towards the end, we got up to the rock area where there were some rocks to climb over. And personally, we really loved that part. And as you can see, the views around me are absolutely stunning. And out there in the distance are the cathedral spires. We talked about also hiking that trail, but since we can see the views from here and it's pretty hot, I think we're gonna get back and take a dip in the lake instead. We've had a full and really fun day here at Custer State Park, and there's one more thing we're wanting to do. So this scenic drive that is throughout the park, there are a few tunnels that you have to go through, and we, being the size that we are, cannot fit through them. But there is a tunnel just up the road from the lake that I believe we should be able to drive to, and there should be a turnout. So I think we're gonna drive there, pull into the turnout, and then go see the tunnel, and then we will call it a night.
What's really nice is while we may not be able to fit through the tunnel, it's really cool to be able to drive up and actually have access to a pullout so we can get out and check the tunnel out. And I can 100% confirm that we would not fit through this tunnel. It is definitely 8 feet wide. We've seen a few different vehicles drive through, and the largest one I've seen was an F-250 or 350 with obviously a single rear wheel, so not a dually like ours, but he had his mirrors in, so it was definitely super tight. If you're over 8 feet wide and you come here, or over 9.9 feet tall, I highly recommend not coming in here, but definitely coming up and checking it out, because the tunnel with the beautiful views all around is 100% worth it.
This morning we are back in Custer State Park and we are doing the Wildlife Loop. This is an 18-mile paved drive, and I'm sure you can tell from the name, Wildlife Loop. This area is known for its wildlife, so while we are here doing the drive, we should be able to see some bison, pronghorn, elk, and so much more, so we're excited to see the wildlife and also taking the views along the way. The Wildlife Loop is packed with animals and for a reason. Rolling grasslands, forest edges, and protected parkland make the perfect home for bison, elk, pronghorn, and even wild burros. The park manages the herds carefully so the animals can roam freely. Many of the burros are descendants of mining animals from the 1800s, and the bison, sometimes over 1,500 pounds, roam the whole area and even come close to the vehicles. I would say that was a very successful drive. We were able to see so much wildlife, and it did take about 2 hours to go around the loop, which is what we read, just with all the traffic jams, the wildlife, the stops, and all that. But it was so much fun, and now we are headed out of this area, headed towards the Badlands National Park, and we're also going to be making a stop along the way.
The stop that we had to make on the way to the national park is Wall Drug. We've actually been here before. This store has been here since 1931, and there are signs around 40 minutes out from this place that basically promote it, from like free water to 5-cent coffee and a bunch of other things. It's definitely an interesting stop, and we're excited to check it out again. Wall Drug. What started as a tiny pharmacy during the Great Depression has grown into a legendary roadside stop. Famous for its free ice water, giant cowboy and jackalope statues, and quirky shops, it's a place full of surprises. From souvenirs to homemade donuts and murals lining the walls, Wall Drug is a chaotic, colorful, and totally iconic spot that you can't miss on any South Dakota road trip.
Wall Drug is definitely a fun and interesting stop to make, especially if you're going into the national park like we are. It's also a good place to go and get some air conditioning because it is currently 99 degrees outside. There are some hiking trails we want to do, but we're definitely sticking with some shorter things today because of how hot it is. But we're excited to get into the national park and explore because it's been so long since we've been here.
We're starting our time in the Badlands doing the Scenic Loop Drive. We drove into the park through the Pinnacles entrance, and our first stop is the Pinnacles overlook. And as you can tell, there's a pretty bad thunderstorm looking like it's coming right our way. But what's nice about that is the clouds are covering the sun and there's a nice breeze. But what's bad about that is it might make our time today short. So hopefully it doesn't rain. We're gonna make a few stops along this scenic route. And like I said, our first one is Pinnacles overlook, and it's super stunning.
We've made it to our next stop, which is the Yellow Mounds Overlook, and as you can tell, the rain has picked up, but the views are still beautiful, so we're not gonna let it stop us.
Holy smokes.
The rain and the wind have just continued to pick up. We've driven up a little bit, and now we're on a pullout with a few other cars and a few other campers. And we're kind of just waiting it out, hoping it passes by, but the wind is shaking the whole camper. So it's a little bit scary, especially since we've been like in the PNW and stuff. We just haven't seen storms like this. So yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, at least for me. Grayson's chilling. We've decided to head to where we're camping for the night, and it has turned chaotic pretty quickly because it is super muddy over here and we're sliding around a little bit. So Grayson is outside kind of checking on the situation here.
Oh, it's a little muddy out there. Had to put this truck in 4-wheel drive because we're sliding around. So let's hope we can get out of here. We're just trying to get to camp because the rain is terrible.
Oh, we're sliding.
I know.
Here we go, there we go. Yes.
Well, that day took a little bit of a turn. What we thought was just going to be a short 1-hour little rainstorm ended up being a pretty severe storm actually. It was raining very heavily for I don't know, it's been raining since probably 2 hours ago, at least at this point, 3 hours ago. And it was a very heavy rain, tons of wind, and the entire camper was shaking. So we thought, okay, let's head to camp and camp somewhere we've camped before when we were in the area last time. Turns out that entire area was a mud pit, and dualies don't really do the best in mud. So we literally got down the road and it was perfectly fine. Turned, got down that way a little bit, and then it just turned into like a mud pit, and we just started sliding around because it's like kind of on a slant. But we were stuck there for about 15 minutes before a guy named Nathan with a nice Ford Bronco came and saved us. So thank you, Nathan, if you're watching this. Really appreciate you. But now that we are unstuck, we're here at Wall Drug and still waiting out the storm that is still going on. Fingers crossed it passes and we are able to get back into the Badlands tomorrow and explore a little bit more before continuing on.
It's pretty good, actually. It's pretty good.
So this morning we're gonna try this whole Badlands National Park thing again. Yesterday it rained pretty bad. We actually figured out our four-wheel drive system was not working in the truck, but that's besides the point. It is okay outside. It does look like it might potentially rain. So we're gonna actually make our way to where we are going to end our time here. We're gonna start with the Notch Trail, potentially check out the Windows Trail, and then as we make our way out of the park, we're gonna see those overlooks and then end at the Yellow Mounds where we left off yesterday. So fingers crossed it doesn't rain, and I have a feeling it will, so we're gonna get out there and hurry up and get some stuff done before it does. Notch Trail packs a lot into a little hike. You climb ladders, walk along narrow rock ledges, and the trail ends at a pretty awesome viewpoint.
That trail was super fun, but it did start raining towards the end, so we made our way back to the truck. But again, it looks like it's clearing up. The weather here has been pretty bipolar, but now that we're back in the truck, we're gonna make a few more stops on our way out of the park. Just 7 minutes away from the Notch Trail is the big Badlands overlook, and as you can tell, the sun is back out again and it is super bright, but we're excited to see this viewpoint. There are a ton of different overviews that we could stop at, but unfortunately we don't have time to go to all of them, so we're going to be stopping at 2 more, and the first one is the Burns Basin overlook. I'm filming in the car right now because it is super windy outside, but we have made it to our last overview, which is the Kanata Basin overlook. And this is actually where we were parked last night when it was pouring so hard, and there were a bunch of other people parked here with us, kind of just waiting for the rain to go out. So now that we can actually see what's going on, we're gonna head over there and check out this last viewpoint.
Even though we had some unpredictable weather and some hiccups in this adventure here in the Badlands, we still had such a great time, and we're super thankful to have some time today with some beautiful weather to be able to explore. but unfortunately our time here in the Badlands as well as South Dakota is coming to an end, and we have a little bit of a drive day today to get to a spot to visit a friend, and then also to continue on our journey to make sure that we get to that northeasternmost point on time, or at least as close to on time as we can be. But we appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. It helps out our channel a lot. And if you're new here and haven't done it already, subscribe to our channel, and to be notified for when we post next, turn on those post notifications so you don't miss out. But until next time, y'all, peace out.